If you love $9 Monday and $2 Tuesday, you're really going to appreciate our new Throwback Thursday when all daily packages are slashed in half. Yes, you heard right. At both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, all Thursday daily packages are now 50% off. This means that a 4% package will be only $12.50. A 5% top-rated play, normally priced at $35, will be only $17.50. And the hottest sales item of the day, get a full day of access from the handicappers of your choice. That's one day of every applicable play they release, including any 5% best bets normally priced at $39 for only $19.50. The best part is you can come back every Thursday to take advantage of this limited time 50% off spring off.
Happy Thursday, everyone. It is time for Stoppage Time. I'm Nick Borman of SportsMemo.com. Carmine Bianco is out today, so I'm filling in. We're here to talk a little soccer action. The international break is over, and domestic league action kicks back off. We're in the home stretch here. We got about anywhere from 8 to 12 games remaining for most of these teams, so this will be a final push for everything this season. So a lot to cover and some great games coming up this weekend, which we'll break down with the guys. So let's bring them on. Of course, we have Kevin Dolan and Brian Power of WagerTalk.com, along with Pavlos Lagaredos of Sports Memo. Guys, hope everyone's doing well. Probably like me, just happy to get through the international break. It's always a tricky time, especially after the World Cup and what the hell's going on. So happy the domestic leagues are back in action. So I'll welcome you guys in and see what you guys see how you've been and what's going on. Kevin, how are things? How was the last couple of I guess we didn't meet last week, right? So how was the last 2 weeks, and what do you got coming up going on this weekend?
All good, Nick. I have to say I'm a little bit happy that you're over at Sports Memo, to be honest. When you did the intro, I can finally bask in the glory that is being WagerTalk's #1 MLS capper finally. So stay where you are, don't come back. I'm enjoying this #1 ranking in MLS. But yeah, it's all good my end. We've good season so far. #1 in French League 1 across 2023. #1 in German Bundesliga. #2 in Italian Serie A. So pretty happy with how things are going this year. Not perfect. English Premier League has kicked my ass for the large part of the last month. But, we'll look to turn things around now that the domestic seasons are back and, give out some winners on today's show.
Yeah, excellent. Like I said, there's a lot of good games this weekend. I can't wait to get to them. We're going to cover several of those, of course, here in the Premier League and in the Bundesliga. But yeah, glad things are going well. And MLS has been going well for me as well, Kevin. Only one losing weekend so far out of the 5 weekends in the MLS. So happy we can keep that going this year. Brian, how are things with you? You've been on a great college basketball run.
Yeah, missed you guys during the NCAA tournament. The only drawback, I guess, the international break here. But things are good, man. You mentioned NCAA tournament winding down. Of course, Major League Baseball opening day is today. So we say goodbye to one sport. Another is with us. But obviously here, the subject of the day is soccer. And very excited to get it going again. Been on a great run in the Premier League, La Liga. I'm no king of Spain. I have won 5 straight in La Liga. I would never challenge for the throne, but maybe I can hang out at the castle someday, at least, Kevin. And then Serie A has been great all season as well. So we're going to have a bunch of plays this weekend. Really amp it up and looking forward to having a big weekend and talking, some great games that we've got on tap here on the show.
Yeah, excellent. MLB opening day is today, of course. You are right. I'm excited about the season. I don't cap it, but I do follow it. I'm a Phillies fan and a Cubs fan. So hopefully one of the two has a good season. Philly obviously has high expectations after their pennant run last year. So we'll see how that goes. And I even got my fantasy baseball team drafted. I'm not happy about it. I think it sucks. It always sucks. But, it is what it is. It'll be a long year. Pavlos, how are you, my friend? What do you got going on over at Sports Memo right now?
Yeah, I couldn't be happier about the international break being over. A lot of weird results there. We did save a couple of days with some props, red cards, cards in general, and some goal-scoring props with Harry Kane and Mbappe mainly. But I couldn't be happier for the, club soccer to come back because we got a lot more stats there. We got a lot more, choices to choose from. And I do have 3 plays up for tonight, actually, in the Costa Rica and Argentinian league, because, those South American leagues are money and we just keep following them. And of course, we run a nice discount over at both sides. So you can get the entire package for 50% off. I got 2 plays loaded for the weekend, 4% both of them. And of course, more plays are going to be loaded. There's so much info to go through. And of course, you'll be first to know on our Twitter accounts.
Excellent, Pavlos. And let's not forget, next week is the best week of the year, Kevin. The Masters will tee off next Thursday. I know that brings you excitement. And I always say it to you, I think I say it literally to you every year. Kevin, if there's ever one week you're going to watch golf, please make it next week, please. That's it. That's the only week I ever ask. Just 5 seconds. Maybe an ESPN recap or something. That's all I ask.
I'll see if I have any insomnia, Nick. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it'll put you to sleep. All right, gents, let's get to the weekend action. We got 3 Premier League games to cover, and Der Klassiker in the Bundesliga, which is Bayern and Dortmund. So a lot of good matches this week to break down. So let's get right to the action with our first game, which is going to be Manchester City and Liverpool. What a game to come back to after the international break. Of course, maybe not quite the blockbuster we've seen in the years past with, the league title certainly not on the line here for Liverpool, but it's still Klopp versus Pep, who always want to, kick each other's asses. So it's going to be fun regardless. Kevin, let's go to you first. What are you looking at for the big Man City Liverpool match?
Well, I wrote an article on this game yesterday, Nick, over at WagerTalk News, where, I highlighted a few of Liverpool's, injury concerns ahead of this game. No bad Shetics, I can't pronounce his name. No Thiago, and also potentially no Tsimikas, Henderson, Diaz, Ramsey, or Nunez for Liverpool in this one. That's an awful lot of players in general, should they all, not suit up here. But especially, look, in and around those holding defensive midfield areas for Liverpool especially, you really don't want to be giving City any more room in which to operate, in and around that part of the pitch. That's their bread and butter. That's where they do most of the damage in games, especially with the likes when Kevin De Bruyne's playing well. So, even with Phil Foden out here, potentially no Erling Haaland as well for City, it's still advantage Man City for me here, given how many players potentially could be out of this Liverpool lineup on Saturday. But, frankly, look, even if Liverpool were 100% here, Manchester City have been absolutely superb at home across 2023. They've won 8 straight games at the Etihad, heading into Saturday's matchup. They've won each of the last 4 in the EPL at home as well. Outscored opponents by a combined 12-3 goals margin in those games. And a lot of that success has come off the back of a defence that ranks number 1 in the league at home across this calendar year by a pretty wide margin as well, defensive XGA-wise. So I think City win this game. I believe it'll be a lower scoring game as well, given how good City have been defensively at home. Plus the fact, Liverpool simply can't take City on here, in my opinion. Given the number of injuries they have, they're going to have to try and contain them at some stage. So Man City, for me, paired with the under 3.5 goals in this one, is going off at plus 130. Remember, it is the early kickoff. Keep in mind that. So early kickoffs, we keep talking about them. They're the Wild West of European soccer. So, Liverpool could win this game 9-2, who knows. But if everything goes as it should, I believe City win this game under 3.5 plus 130. I like that play.
Yeah, you're right. The early European kickoffs always kind of trip us up. But, listen, I agree with you, Kevin. You got Haaland and Foden are probably going to get all the attention as far as guys missing from the lineup, but Liverpool, does have their own issues to deal with, and really, more so than worrying about Man City's offense with maybe Haaland out, is worrying about Liverpool's defense, which has just been terrible all year long, no matter who's on the field. So I like that play, Kevin. I agree with you 100%. Pavlos, let's go to you next on this. Something tells me you don't care who wins, but what's your selection you're throwing out here for this match?
In fact, I do not care who wins because, this is a very, this is a match to watch. You don't have to throw a lot of money on it. I know it's a very popular match, but it's a very tricky match as well. Kevin mentioned some, absences for Liverpool. Of course, City, Haaland didn't train and his status is up in the air. However, I was looking at, whenever these big matches take place, I like to take a look at the goal scoring props. And looking at the goal scoring props, I saw some huge prices that I've never seen all season on Salah to score. Now, Salah, he's been on a tear lately. In the international break, he had 2 goals and 2 assists. Of course, he was playing with Egypt against the lowly Malawi side. But still, he scored a couple of goals and 2 more assists in the 7-0 thrashing of Manchester United earlier. What was it? A couple of weeks ago, he had a goal and an assist in the match against Real Madrid in the Champions League. So he made a really slow start in the season, but he scored more goals in the 3 or so months after the winter break than he did in the 4 months leading to the winter break. And Salah, he also scored in all 3 matches, actually. Liverpool have played against Manchester City this season, and Liverpool actually won 2 of 3 matches. Of course, they were both at home. So with several players missing for Liverpool, I saw the price on Mohamed Salah to score anytime at plus 280, and that's astronomically high. It's a collector's edition of a price. You won't find it again, anytime soon. So I really don't care who wins as long as Mohamed Salah gets on the score sheet. So I like Mo Salah to score anytime at plus 280.
Collector's edition of a price. I like that slogan. And you're right. I didn't look at these prices yet on the anytime goal scorer market, but I would agree with you 100%. I don't know the last time or the next time we will see Salah at plus 280. I guess it just kind of gives you an idea what the odds makers are thinking for this game, which I tweeted out a couple days ago that, Man City -1, according to just if you look at XG data, they should be closer to -1.5 in this game. So I do feel like there is some good value on that side. But Pavlos, that's a good find. Plus 280. I hope that cashes for you. And it's a 2-1 final. So Kev and you both get in with Salah, of course, being that 1 goal for Liverpool. So good luck there, fellas. Let's move on to the next game. This one is on Sunday. This is Newcastle versus Man United. And right now we're looking at, if we can get the odds on the screen, Newcastle about plus 140. United about plus 190, and the draw about plus 250 or so. So odd to see United, as well as they were playing, as the slight underdog here. If you play the Asian handicap market, you can get them plus quarter of a goal. So surprising to see that, although Newcastle has been playing very, very well all year long. So Bryan, I'm going to go to you first to break this one down. What do you think is going to happen here in this match? You looking at a side? You looking at a total? Bryan's coming.
Let's look at the side there. There we go. Sorry about that. I'm old enough to remember. I was so excited to talk about way back when Man U started 0-2 and everyone's writing their eulogy. But here we are, obviously, about ready to turn the calendar to April. And they're currently minus 650 at DraftKings to finish top 4 in the league. And, of course, Arsenal, Man City, they're locks to finish 1 and 2. So that leaves just one spot in the Champions League places to fill here in the Premier League. I don't think it's going to be Tottenham. I'm looking at either Brighton, who has 3 matches in hand relative to Spurs, or more likely this Newcastle side, guys, who have a better actual and expected goal differential than Man U. 3rd best in the league in both regards, obviously trailing only Arsenal and Man City. So this is a really huge match for Newcastle. They're 3 points back of Man U and only 2 points back of 4th. And at plus 140 to win here, you mentioned the odds, Nick. This may make my card for Sunday as a client play. I really like Newcastle. This is a team that's allowed a league low 19 goals, and they're tied for a league low 3 defeats this season. I know they lost the EFL Cup final to Man U 2-0 last month, but Man U's recent form there's been a bit of a downturn. They've scored 1 or no goals in 3 of the last 5 fixtures. They had that awful 7-0 loss to Liverpool, obviously, and kind of a deceiving 3-1 final against Fulham, wasn't it, in the FA Cup last time out? All 3 United goals come after Fulham was down to 9 men. No Casemiro is significant here, I believe. I think the match taking place in St. James Park, not Wembley Stadium, is also significant. And I'm just willing to trust some of these underlying metrics that suggest Newcastle is every bit as good, if not better, than Man U. And this is key. Remember, 30 of Man U's 50 points this season have come at Old Trafford, and expected goal difference really shaky away from home against the top 6. I'm taking a flyer on Newcastle. Part of me wonders, am I being a little too stubborn? Because I do think Newcastle finds its way in the top 4. Am I trying to force it? But I don't know. This price at home, Newcastle, I think they get it done. They get the full 3.
All right. I don't know that I fully agree, and I'll explain why in a second. But, the trickiest part of this game for me is like United. You look at them. Ryan, right? You could argue it's a catch-22. I guess they were one of the hottest teams in Europe since the World Cup break, and then of course we have the 10-day international break. So was that a good thing for them? Because the flip side of that is they were easily the most overworked team during that time too. I mean, they played 25 games in less than 3 months, which is ridiculous. They won the EFL Cup, of course, over this Newcastle side. They moved into the semifinals of the FA Cup. They beat 2 La Liga sides in the Europa to make the quarters. They're the favorites to win that. And now, like you mentioned, they're back in the top 4 of the EPL. So they've done everything they can to keep all their chances to win all these trophies still alive. I mean, they're not going to win the Premier League, but they've been playing very, very well. So maybe it's a good thing. I can't figure out if this is a good thing for the team or not. Did they need the break? Did they want to stop the momentum? I don't know. But I look at United as, a tale of, I don't want to say 2 seasons, but certainly 2 portions of the season, right? So you had the pre-Ronaldo and post-Ronaldo eras. And I know Ronaldo only played a couple games early in the year, but he was still there. And the team was still trying to figure themselves out while he was there. But they've been another animal since then. And you are 100% correct on Newcastle's XG metrics. They've been very, very good, especially defensively, and it's going to be tough to score. The reason I would look to United more so on here is just we're getting a head start on them. Like I mentioned in the preview, we can get a quarter of a goal on them, so a draw is going to at least cash half a ticket. And I just don't know if I trust Newcastle's clinicalness, like their ability to actual finish, versus United, who's, especially with Rashford's been, just a great surprise this year of being able to just deliver when it's needed. So they seem a little more clinical. Casemiro is a huge loss for them in the midfield. You are 100% correct on that. So more than just the side plus a quarter, I like the under here. I think you hit the nail on the head with Newcastle. Their defense, United, maybe they'll be a little shaky without their anchor in the midfield. So I like the under 2.5 the most, but I will also look at the side here with United plus a quarter of a goal, just because I think, you get 2 out of 3 options here, United to win or a draw, and we're going to catch something on this. So either way, I think it'll be a close match, and there's obviously a lot on the line for both of these teams in this game. So we'll see how it plays out. Let's move on to our third game, another Premier League match going this weekend, and this is the Toffees of Everton against the Spurs at Tottenham. And we're going to go to Pavlos and Kevin to break this one down. Pavlos, we'll go to you first on this one. What are you thinking here for Everton and Tottenham this week?
It's a tricky match. Of course, struggling teams who change their coach, which is exactly what Tottenham did earlier, what was it, 3-4 days ago. They sacked Conte. They're now under another coach, which is not very experienced, but the new coach effect cannot be overlooked. Now, whenever you got a struggling side, especially a side that has a good roster, as Tottenham do, whenever they change their coach, they tend to perform much better. Now, Everton, they've been fighting for their lives, a lot more so lately than they used to, earlier in the season. Right now, they're sitting just 2 points above the relegation zone, so their fight, to avoid the relegation is still not over. And Tottenham, right now, sitting 4th in the Premier League, 49 points. They're lucky because Manchester United are sitting 1 point above them, and Newcastle are sitting 2 points behind them. So these 2 teams are playing against one another. So in the event of a draw in that match, or if maybe Newcastle win, Tottenham, they can leapfrog Manchester United for that 3rd place and maybe feel a little safer about playing European soccer next season, Champions League soccer actually, because Tottenham, they didn't have anything good go their way with Conte. So now the change in coach, yes, it's a good thing, but you can never really know with, if somebody with more experience came in, I would definitely go with the money line. And the money line, trust me, it wouldn't be so high. Now, I like Tottenham at these prices. Their money line shot up to plus 120, which gives us the opportunity to back them with a spread, minus 0.25 goals. Now, I think, Everton, they have a very, not a high ceiling. They're a team with limited capabilities. Yes, they can play good defense. Their offense has been in shambles all season. So they might be able to avoid the relegation, but they do have a certain ceiling. Now, Tottenham's ceiling is way higher than Everton's. And I think, if Tottenham don't make it to the Champions League this season, maybe they should just break apart this team, disband everything, just do a full-on restart, because what they have all these players, and they got, I think their last title was in 2008, an FA Cup. So all these years they have so many good players, they haven't done anything. So if next season they don't make it to the Champions League, they might as well restart everything. So I'll take the bait. I'll take Tottenham minus 0.25 goals here. So this is a split line between Tottenham Pick'em and Tottenham man line, essentially, or minus 1.5, minus half a goal. So I do believe in Tottenham, but that's probably the last time I'll believe in Tottenham in this season.
Well, listen, I'm glad you're breaking this game down, because the Spurs are a team I just can't ever get right. I bet on them and they come out flat. I fade them and they score 5 goals. So I'm glad this is you and Kevin breaking it down and not me. So I'll trust your opinion on that match. And if you're looking for any more information on relegation battles, Bryan actually wrote a great article on the WagerTalk news site breaking down some of the relegation battles in Europe. He touched on this Toffees team as well, so definitely check that out over at WagerTalk.com on the news page there. So good read for sure, Bryan. Kevin, let's go to you next on this one. Listen, I know if Big Frank was still on the sidelines for Everton, I know where you would be going in this game. We all know where you'd be going in this game, but that's not the case. So tell us what you're thinking here for this match.
Automatic 5%, Nick. Automatic 5%. Look, Pavlos said Tottenham don't win anything, but I've said it before, I'll say it again. They won the Audi Cup, I believe, in 2016. So, successful trophy haul there. Look, Pavlos nailed it. Who knows what we're going to get out of Tottenham in this game? Winless in 3 straight road games. Obviously, Conte's gone. Their manager situation as well. They've got like a double. We used to see this back in the Liverpool days. Was it Houllier and Evans? They've got the same kind of thing going on right now. Stellini and Mason taking over. So it is a difficult one. Obviously, when they're going to come in, they're going to try and steady the ship. I would imagine, calm things down. You can't be getting into 3-3 shootouts with bottom of the table Southampton if you're going to stay inside that top 4. But, that said, Tottenham ranked 5th from bottom on total goals allowed across 2023 so far. They rank an even worse 3rd from bottom away from home as well. They're giving up 2.0 goals per game to opponents on average on the road this calendar year. So, while they may come in and look to calm things down here, it's going to be another matter entirely for them to pull that off. So I like the over 2.25 goals here at minus 130 on Monday night between Tottenham and Everton. Everton have found the back of the net in 6 of their 7 games inside Goodison Park since the World Cup break ended. And the stats back that up also. Everton ranked 5th in the league since February the 1st in offensive XG at home. So, I expect both teams to find the back of the net in this one. I believe it goes over the total as a result. And just in case, a 1-1 is possible here. So I like the protection of having that half stake returned if by some chance it lands on exactly 2 goals here. So, over 2.25 goals for me in this one between Tottenham and Everton on Monday.
Good find on the XG numbers there for the Toffees at home, Kevin. 5th best since the World Cup break. That's information we both like to look at. A lot of us like to look at to kind of see what's going to happen perhaps in the future. But listen, I guess we were hoping for a 2-1 or a 3-1 Spurs win here in this match, and both you guys can get home. So good luck to both of you guys in that match. Let's move on to the final game we're going to break down this week, and we're going to switch leagues over to Germany in the Bundesliga, the biggest rivalry certainly in that league and one of the biggest in Europe's Der Klassiker, Bayern Munich versus Dortmund. I don't remember a time this late in the season where Bayern was not atop the table, right? This is definitely a different season for them. They won 10 straight times. So this is the first time in a while that this late in the season they have a chance to possibly lose this thing. And of course, Dortmund are the team sitting 1 point ahead right now. So this, there's still 9 games left and 8 after this match. So there's plenty of time, but it feels like this match could really decide the potential result of this league. If Bayern win this, it's going to be hard for me to believe that Dortmund are going to again be able to come back. But if Dortmund win, there's a good chance here. So I'm going to let Bryan break this one down. I do have an article up at WagerTalk.com on the news page as well for this match, so you can get my full thoughts and breakdown of it. My quick one thing I'll say before throwing over Bryan is it's Der Klassiker. No matter what's going on in the Bundesliga, in Europe, when these two teams meet, there are goals, right? There are just goals. It's been 15 of the last 18 meetings between these teams have finished over 3.5 goals, which is remarkable because this is obviously a high total. And each of the last 7 have finished over as well. I'm just very surprised that the Der Klassiker like automatic total line isn't at least at 3.75 or pushing 4 at this point, but we're still at 3.5. So Bryan, I'll let you break this one down in full. What are you looking at here for this match?
Yeah, Nick, it's interesting. You tweeted out the chart on the Bundesliga, and it kind of confirmed what I was thinking. And I know you and I and all of us look at a lot of the same data. Despite all this hand-wringing over Bayern, all the underlying metrics seem to suggest they should be well on their way to an 11th straight Bundesliga title, right? I mean, they're number one in virtually everything in the league. Number one in goal differential by a mile. They're plus 45. Dortmund's number 2 at plus 24. They're number one in expected goal difference, number one in expected points. But as you already mentioned, they are not, in fact, sitting at the top of the table right now. Dortmund is just a razor-thin 1-point margin. And that's crazy when you consider coming out of the World Cup break, Dortmund was in 6th place. I mean, what a run this has been. You got to tip your cap to them. Winning 11 of 13. They have not been beaten in the league since before the World Cup break, in fact. And I do expect Bayern to win here. They get the new manager bounce, of course. That 2-1 loss to Leverkusen before the international break. Those 2 goals allowed, both on penalties. Remember, guys, this is still a last 8 Champions League side and one of the favorites to win that competition, as a matter of fact. They would have much lower odds if they weren't paired up with City. So even though they just sacked the manager, I don't think there's a reason for Bayern to panic. But that said, the money line is pretty chalky, and I wouldn't want to lay more than -1 either. So you nailed it, Nick. How about old reliable here in Der Klassiker? The over. Last 5 head-to-head meetings between these two sides. 6, 4, 5, 4, and 4 total goals scored. That is 23 goals, if my math is correct, in 5 matches. These are 2 highest scoring sides in the Bundesliga. And during that 11-1-1 run, Dortmund scored 33 times. So that's obviously, about 2.5 goals per match. I think we easily see 4 goals here, and the over is the call on Saturday.
Yeah, that's, the biggest news for me for the Bayern team, you hit on it, the new manager bounce. It's still crazy to me that they fired Nagelsmann. Bring in Tuchel, who, of course, was a hero at Chelsea, won the Champions League for him, then fell flat in his face at PSG. So time will tell how this works out for Bayern, but because they weren't leading the league by 10 points and they've never lost a Champions League game this year, I don't understand, where the firing necessarily comes from, but obviously that's not for me to figure out, but we'll see what happens with Tuchel. I know Kevin is not a big fan of Tuchel. He would rather have Frank on the sidelines of any team. So we'll see how that goes. But let's get into our recaps here for everybody. We'll go and do a quick roundtable on everybody. We'll put your plays up on the screen, and you can tell us what you got going on at WagerTalk or at Sports Memo. So Kevin, let's go to you first. We'll get your plays up on the screen. And what do you have coming up today and through the weekend on your page at WagerTalk?
A ton of action up for Thursday, Scared, especially, Nick. MLB triple pack with it being opening day loaded up for this afternoon. 72.7% across all MLB placements last August, so pretty happy with how we closed out last season in baseball. We have an NBA best bet up for tonight, also came off a nice 4% winner with the LA Lakers last night. So all good right now. My end, we've already got 8 soccer plays preloaded right now. For clients heading into the weekend slate, and we'll look to continue to stay as hot as we can as the European domestic weekends resume. So yeah, exciting weekend.
Yeah, MLB is back, so good luck to you there, Kevin. And of course, don't sleep on Kevin's MLS. We both will have plenty of coverage again going into this weekend as well. Bryan, we got the Final Four this weekend. I'm sure you will be have some action in a couple of those games. What else do you have going on this weekend?
Yeah, it's going to be a busy Thursday with it being opening day. We've got MLB. We've got the NIT. It may not be the NCAA tournament, but the money pays the same. 7-1 run in the NIT. And going back to baseball, we had an incredible finish last year in the playoffs, 16-4-2. That's an 80% run, 10-0 last 10 totals in MLB. I've got 3 client plays locked and loaded for opening day, and we're 3-0 to start the week in the NBA. I have an NBA play as well, 5 plays total for Thursday. Very excited, to get going again in the domestic league action. 70% runs in the Premier League, Serie A, and then 5-0 last 5 in La Liga. And thank you, Nick, for the shout on the article I wrote on the various relegation battles going on across Europe right now. A lot of words. I would appreciate if someone out there would read them. So, and if for some reason you didn't get enough of me on this program, I will be on Wager Talk today in about 90 minutes. So busy Thursday, busy weekend. Let's get them.
It may be a lot of words, but it's a lot of good information in that article, Brian. So thanks for writing that, and good luck to you this weekend. I'll definitely follow along with your college basketball. You and Adam Trigger have definitely been kicking some ass with your hoop selection. So good luck to you there, Pavlos. Let's go to you. We'll put your play up on the screen. And what do you have going on over at your page at Sports Memo for today and through the weekend?
Okay, today I have a 3-pack. It's a 4% spread bet along with 3%. Again, the plays are in Costa Rica and Argentina. Make sure your sportsbook offers these leagues before purchasing. Of course, this package is 50% off, so it's a great deal. You get 3 plays for just $12.50. So it's really nice. And then I have 2 plays, client plays for the weekend. Both of them 4%, both of them on the spread. One is in the La Liga, one is in the Serie A. I still haven't looked at a lot in the MLS. I'm 75% win rate in the MLS so far in the season, going a little bit slow, but I do have a free play loaded at my page. Just head over to my page. It's also up in my Twitter page. It's a video about the St. Louis match. So there's still a lot of action and a lot of matches to be researched. So again, 5 plays loaded at my page. Head over and you'll also find my free plays as well.
Excellent. Good luck to you this weekend, Pavlos. Myself, I only had 1 pack up for today, Thursday. That was the golf tourney pack, but that is underway now. And no soccer going on today, as there's really not much going on. So into the weekend, I do have a couple, 2 European plays loaded right now, but staying focused in trying to figure out MLS as best as possible, as it's been my bread and butter. So I don't have my card posted for sale yet, but for clients, a couple plays are already loaded. So hoping to continue the run there. And then as we move into next week, guys, we have, it's kind of a quiet week next week, right? We have a few Premier League makeup games midweek, but other than that, there's some cup matches. Overall, pretty quiet. So we're not going to get together, it sounds like, on Tuesday next week, but we'll be back on Thursday next week. Carmine will be back here at the helm leading us in the show, and we'll break down, of course, all of next weekend's European cards as we look forward to the end of this domestic season coming quickly upon us. So want to thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure to hit that like button, and make sure to check out these guys and what they have up over at their pages at WagerTalk or Sports Memo. On behalf of Kevin, Brian, Pavlos, and myself, we miss you, Carm. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in, and good luck this weekend with your plays, guys.
If you love $9 Monday and $2 Tuesday, you're really going to appreciate our new Throwback Thursday when all daily packages are slashed in half. Yes, you heard right. At both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, all Thursday daily packages are now 50% off. This means that a 4% package will be only $12.50. A 5% top-rated play, normally priced at $35, will be only $17.50. And the hottest sales item of the day, get a full day of access from the handicappers of your choice. That's 1 day of every applicable play they release, including any 5% best bets normally priced at $39 for only $19.50. The best part is you can come back every Thursday to take advantage of this limited time 50% off spring offer.